Today's lesson is on understanding the tangent. Now we've talked about the sine of an angle is the y value on the unit circle, and the cosine of an angle is the x value. And we've talked about the tangent is y divided by x. But what does tangent actually look like? If you recall from your geometry days, a tangent is a line that intersects the circle at exactly one point. So if we take an angle, here's our angle, there, that's a 60-degree reference, or pi over 3. If you look at this 60-degree reference and then you draw the tangent line to the unit circle through the point 1, 0, you can see that the tangent line intersects the angle at roughly 1.73. You can see the 1.573. Well, this length right here is the actual length of the tangent. The tangent at 60 is root 3, which is approximately 1.73. And if you actually do the math, remember the y value for a 60-degree angle is root 3 over 2, and the x value is 1/2. So when you divide root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2, you get root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. The 2's cancel, and you get root 3. And you can visually see the root 3 right here if you draw the tangent line. Now here's the greatest thing about the tangents, is the tangent of pi over 3 is root 3. Root 3 is the biggest value for the tangent, and it matches up with the reference angle. The reference angle is 60, and 60 is the biggest reference angle, and root 3 is the biggest tangent value. Now let's look at 30, okay? Here's the 30-degree tangent, okay? Now let's remember its value. The x is long, so root 3 over 2. The y is short, so that's 1/2. So when we do the tangent of 30 degrees, or pi over 6, it's 1/2 divided by root 3 over 2, which is 1/2 times 2 over root 3. The 2's cancel, and it's 1 over root 3. When you rationalize, you get root 3 over 3. So this height right here is root 3 over 3. And if you approximate that value, root 3 divided by 3 is roughly 0.577. So it's just above 0.5 and below 0.6. So you can see its length right here. It's the smallest of all of them, and it goes along with the 30-degree reference. So root 3 over 3 is small, and it goes with the 30-degree reference. Now let's look at pi over 4, or 45. So remember, at 45, or pi over 4, we have root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. So the tangent of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2, which is just 1. Now look at the actual tangent line. Remember, this is the tangent line. When you draw it up from the angle, look, it's tangent right there. There's your 1. You can actually see the 1. So the tangent right here is actually 1. You can visually see it. Now, if it's negative pi over 4 and negative 45, you can see right here, it's negative 1. Because that would be the tangent of negative pi over 4 would be negative root 2 over 2 divided by positive root 2 over 2, which is just negative 1. So here are the three values of tangent. Root 3 over 3, 1, and root 3. Root 3 over 3 is the smallest, and it goes with the 30-degree reference. 1 is medium, and it goes with 45-degree reference, or this is pi over 4 reference, pi over 6 reference. And root 3 is the biggest, and it goes with pi over 3, or 60 degrees. That's the biggest number, and that's the biggest ratio. So let's now look at how do we solve these tangent problems. Well, we're looking at 2 pi over 3. So we know it's 60-degree reference because it's over 3. So we know it has to be the biggest tangent ratio. So we know it's going to be root 3. Now visually, what does that look like? Well, 2 pi over 3, here's 3 pi over 3. So 2 pi over 3 is 60 degrees here and here. So there, right there, is our tangent value. Oh, it's just up here, right? Because this one's in the fourth quadrant. This one is 2 pi over 3. This is our tangent value, which is our largest one, so we know it's root 3. Now, since we're in the second quadrant, remember, in the first and the third quadrant, tangent's positive, so the second quadrant, tangent's negative. So tangent of 2 pi over 3 is going to be negative square root of 3. Now for 11 pi over 6. 11 pi over 6 we know is 30-degree reference, which means it's going to be some form of root 3 over 3, but we don't know if it's positive or negative. Here is our unit circle. Here's our 30-degree there. There's our tangent, so we know it's slightly bigger. Now, we know it's going to be negative, because remember, tangent's positive here and here, which means it's negative here and here. And since it's a 30-degree reference, we know it's root 3 over 3, and since it's in the fourth quadrant, we know it has to be negative. So tangent of 11 pi over 6 is negative root 3 over 3. Now here's our last one, 5 pi over 4. So where's 5 pi over 4? Well, this is 0 or 8 pi over 4. This is 4 pi over 4. So we need to do one more than 4 pi over 4, which puts us here. So here's our tangent. Visually, this is our tangent, and it's over 4, so we know it's medium, which we know it's either 1 or negative 1. So we know it's either 1 or negative 1, so we'll see if it's negative 1 or positive 1. So it's in the third quadrant, and in the third quadrant, remember, tangent's positive in the first and third and negative, so this has to be a positive 1. Okay, so for summary, for remembering tangent, the ratios match up with its size. So root 3 over 3 is the smallest ratio, so the tangent of 30 degrees or the tangent of pi over 6 or anything of that reference is going to be root 3 over 3 because that's the smallest. Then medium is 1. So that's the tangent of 45 degrees or the tangent of pi over 4 is medium. So that's 1. And then root 3, which is our big, or our largest, big, goes with the tangent of anything in the 60-degree family, or tangent of pi over 3. And so that's our largest ratio. So if you can remember this idea, this will help you when solving tangent problems. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.